Hey everybody, thanks for joining us again here at another Thursday Chatting with Troy. I really appreciate it. This is where I answer your questions. If you've got questions for me, just leave them in the comments down below. I'll be sure and add them to my list of questions for a future episode. And again, like I always mention, if you are interested in any of the YouTube channels I may mention or any of the websites I may mention or products, just hit the Show More button down beneath this video. It'll open up the description box for you, and there's a ton of information in there that I put together for all of y'all. So I hope that helps each of y'all. And it's time to get some questions going here. I hope everybody had a wonderful Christmas and Happy New Year coming up. It's going to be a great 2017. I feel it, man. I feel it. Let's get to some questions. All right, we got Alekine. He's asking, are there grades of prime rib roasts, or are they all prime? I feel like a dummy asking this, but I noticed some roasts in the store look a lot less marbled than others, and it seems to come out drier. Yeah, it does. Thank you, sir. We love the channel. I appreciate your question. You are absolutely correct. It's not a dumb question at all. USDA Prime rib roast is an actual prime rib roast. Now, to market some select and choice grades of a rib roast, they've given them the generic term prime rib roast. But for actual prime rib roast, you look for a USDA seal if you're here in the States, and it'll say USDA Prime for the grade of the meat. The others are just generic terms, like I mentioned, that butchers give to their lower grades of prime, or lower grades of rib roasts that are not actual prime. So great question. I actually get this a lot, and I'm glad I could answer it for you here on this video. So thank you again. Connecticut's, yeah, Connect it kits. Sorry about that. Hey Troy, I just became a new member of your channel. Welcome aboard. Got to give you the old cheers out to you. Man, I appreciate the support. I know you have your next Thursday chat coming up, and I'd really love you to answer this question for me. I'm dry aging at the moment. I live alone and bought a 3-bone ribeye. That's a nice size for individual. Yeah, 3-bone, man. That'd be about 5 pounds. Good stuff. My question is it okay to freeze the rest of the meat? I don't cook after the dry aging process. I wouldn't want to lose the rest of the meat. Thanks, and keep up the good cooking. I appreciate you. And man, yeah, you're absolutely right. You can freeze any of the dry aged meat. Go ahead and carve it into steaks, the thickness that you want, and then individually wrap them or vacuum seal them, be preferred. Put them in the freezer. They'll last you a good 6 months, a little bit longer probably. That's the way I do it. I get these large roasts, especially this time of year around Christmas and holiday season, New Year's and all that. My local HEB here in Texas, my local grocer, they start selling even their prime grade, USDA prime grade rib roasts for I want to say like $11.99 or $12.99 a pound, which is cheap because it's usually like $18.99 a pound normal going rate. And they New York strip loin steak, strip loin roasts, and all that. It's a lot cheaper this time of year. So yeah, that's a good time of the year to do it, and just freeze it. It'll work out fantastic for you, no problems. Just when you're getting ready to cook it, give it 2 or 3 days in your fridge to thaw out, and you're good to go. Christopher Brown, Troy, question for you regarding dry aging steaks here at home. What is the absolute maximum days that you would dry age a USDA prime steak? I wouldn't go past 10 weeks, about 70 days. I've had like a 75-day dry aged steak that I actually bought it. I got it at a restaurant, okay? But it was a little too much for me. So I think 10 weeks max for my own taste. The longer that it ages, the stronger that dry aged flavor. And I just found that 6 to 8 weeks is optimal for me. 9 and 10 weeks, that's pushing it a little bit for me. So everybody has their own opinion on it, though, their own taste and flavors that they like. So give it a shot, but I wouldn't go past 10 weeks from me. 12 weeks, you may love it. I don't know. I don't think there's I guess if you dry age it too much, it'd be almost like jerky. But I don't know. It depends on how big the cut is too. Anyway, just going off the top of my head there. Let's see what we got. Let's see. Another question from Elton's Barbecue Pit. That's my good friend Jatil. Jatil, you know I always have to give you a cheers to you. That's my buddy in Norway. Good stuff, man. All right, Jatil, what'd you say? Can you describe your workflow when making a video? You know, the planning, preparations, the filming, the editing, and to use any key cards. Cheers from the other side of the Atlantic. Jatil. All right, I appreciate you, Jatil, man. Appreciate you. Let's see. I do unscripted stuff. I mean, there's quite a few YouTubers out there that do actually script what they're going to say. I just go off the cuff, man. I just whatever. You know, I don't give it too much thought. I just kind of roll with it. I will plan some shots for some of the still pictures that I use in my thumbnails. I do kind of plan that, but again, it's kind of spur of the moment. While I'm fixing a plate or something like that, I'll be trying to think, okay, what's going to make a great picture? You know, how's the lighting? Do I need to bring in some additional lighting, or can I just use the lighting that is natural, like sunlight right now? I don't have any extra lights on me or anything. And in the kitchen, you know, I've got ceiling lights that I flip on. I've probably got, you know, 8 of them in there that work really well, so I don't need additional lighting in the kitchen. I usually just shoot with one tripod, one camera, and I've got a shotgun mic on my camera. And I do have a LED light on my camera as well, just in case it's nighttime and I need just some a focused light where the camera's looking. As far as I just hook my camera into my computer through USB, download the files to my computer, and from there I use Premiere Pro mainly to edit my videos. I also use, just as a backup, because I like to have backups. For backup editing program, I use Cyberlink Power Director, and I've got the latest version. I like to keep up with all the latest versions of everything. But that's the gist of it, man. I'm a one-man shop. I just do it as simple as I can, and I get a lot of compliments on the way my videos look and sound. So just do the best with what you've got, man. And I will say that the audio is key. You've got to have great audio, the best audio that you can get. Because one thing I know personally I hate, the video can look fantastic, but if the audio is not good, I'm not going to watch that full video. I'm going to get bored with it real quick. So great audio is a good thing. And speaking of audio, I apologize for all this wind we have. It's nature, but it feels great. I mean, it's probably 65 degrees out here in Austin right now. But audio, and also lighting. If you can afford some extra lighting, some additional lighting. I like the light boxes myself, but like umbrella type lights, you know, stuff like that. But the shadow box or the light box lights, those work really well, and they help. I mean, you can have natural light coming in, and that box light will take the shadows away. So that helps. Okay, just whatever you can do to make the video look better and sound better. That's the main thing. Okay, and for y'all that ask, I use a Canon G30, which they no longer make. They've upgraded it to a Canon G40 now, but they're almost identical. I shoot MP4, and I shoot 60 frames per second at 1080p. That's pretty good. I'm not shooting 4K yet, but 1080p is the way to go for right now. Appreciate the question, Jatil. Jeremy T, 1982. I have a question. I'd like to hear about your biggest barbecue fails, when things just didn't go your way. I don't know, he says, I don't have trouble turning out fantastic barbecue. However, I do at times struggle with timing the meat when it comes off of the cooker. Have you ever held meat for hours in a cooler? Got a few questions there, Jeremy. Appreciate the questions, man. I've never really had a barbecue fail, per se, but as I mentioned in the last video, well, Thursday chat, when I first started out I was using select grade briskets, and well, that's pretty much all I could find, you know. But I found that it didn't matter how long I cooked them or what the internal temp was. They were just tough, man. They were tough. And man, I cringed going back and looking at my older videos when I originally started doing briskets. And that's back before I got my Yoder Wichita's, when I was using my Weber Smoky Mountain. Those briskets were dry and they were pretty tough. So I've come a long way on that. And the timing of it, man, I remember once I had a pork butt. It was probably like a 14-pound pork butt, you know. But man, that thing took 20 plus hours. I think it took almost 24 hours to cook. And some just different meats. I mean, for instance, you can have 2 pork butts side by side or 2 briskets side by side. Same grade, same marbleization and everything. They're not going to come off at the same time. It's just a nature of the beast, man. It depends on the cow. Depends on what the cow was eating. Depends on all kind of factors that the cow itself did in nature while it was being raised. You can sit there and just be patient and wait for it to finish cooking. Wait for it to get tender. But as I mentioned a while ago, some briskets just won't get tender. Some pork butts, well, usually pork butt has enough fat that they will get tender, but there's some pork butts that are just tough. You know, nothing against you, nothing you can do about it. Different meats react differently, and that's kind of what makes barbecue fun in a sense. That's why I love it, because you never know what you're going to run into. If I've got a cook that has to be done at a certain hour, you know, like 6 p.m. or something, and man, my brisket or my pork butt is nowhere close to being done, I'm going to wrap it. And that's going to help give me some extra time for it to finish at least a couple of hours before I'm going to carve into it, because you need it to rest as well. So factor that into your equations, as I'm sure you know, but a lot of you don't know that. You got to let that meat rest. Ideally, you want it to rest about half the time that you cooked it. So for 12-hour brisket, you're going to let it rest about 6 hours, ideally. Generally 2 or 3 hours is what most people do, and it works out fine. As far as keeping meat in a cooler, yeah, I've done it once. Just wrap it really, really good. I mean, it's already wrapped in some heavy-duty tinfoil, but wrap blankets around it and put it in a cooler, and it'll stay nice and warm for. I've had one do like 6 hours before, and it was still warm, not screaming hot, but it was still smoking when I unwrapped it. So it works great, man. It works really good. That's one thing you can do if you've got a big family gathering or something like that. Go ahead and cook it like the night before if you want, or let it finish the morning of that family event or that party, and just keep it in the cooler until you're ready to slice it. That's the way I'd do it. Appreciate the question. Munir Fernandez, Troy, one question. I see people are always asking about temp control for low and slow on the Weber Smoky Mountain, and I know you've covered the issue very well. I bought the Weber Smoky Mountain 22-inch because of you, and it is a smoking machine. But, and there's always a but, he says. My son and wife love pizza. What can I do to get the high, let's say above 350 to 375 degrees? What can I do to get it up to those temps? Would appreciate the answer as always. Well, I rarely get my Weber Smoky Mountain that hot. Mainly because I don't want to burn off all the stuff on the inside, and I don't want to mess the paint up. Cooking at those higher temps, say 400 and above, you run the risk of messing the paint up on the Weber Smoky Mountain. It's not designed to cook that hot. What you could do, more fuel is more fire, more heat. Just pile as many coals as you can in there, leave all the vents wide open, leave the lid off, and it'll get hot. I've gotten mine up to 375 once, and I think I was cooking some chicken. It burns through a lot of charcoal doing it that way, and you can even try using lump charcoal, which burns hotter than your charcoal briquettes. So try lump charcoal, fill that 22-inch up, get a lot of fuel in there, fire it up, and just let it rip. and you'll get probably close to 500 degrees. And if you're doing pizza and stuff, I know it'd be difficult to do, but if you can use the lower rack, that would probably be better, especially if you have a pizza stone on top of the rack, because the closer you are to the fire, the better it's going to be for you. And the other way you can do it, I guess, let it get screaming hot, and then put the pizza stone on the top grate and put the lid on as soon as you put the pizza on, because it'll start building that heat in the dome section, and that'll reflect down and hit the top of the pizza and melt all the cheese and get it ooey gooey goodness like what most people like. But yeah, lump charcoal, that's the way to go. And just leave the vents wide open on it. But it's not designed to go that hot. Let me know how it works out for you, Manure. Doug Dunlop. Let's see what Doug's got here. Troy, I'm new to your channel. And question. He's also new to dehydrating foods and stuff. He's got some venison sausage from a processor. It's got ground maple flavor in it and also pork mixed in. Would you advise making jerky with that, or would I have to add spices and cure? Man, I honestly don't know the answer to that one. I've never had quite that combination with venison and pork. I don't see why you couldn't do jerky with it, but it does sound more like that's more of a sausage. You may try some of those like the links, the sausage looking jerky. But that would work. Find you some casings and make your own jerky that way. But I'm more of a fan of the flat jerky, the dried out jerky. A lot of times that jerky that looks like a little small sausage, a lot of times it's greasy and the skin's tough, you know, that kind of thing. But I don't see why it wouldn't work if you're doing it like a sausage type jerky. Give it a shot, man. And as far as the spices and stuff, I would just throw in, if anything at all, throw in spices that are great with pork. I mean, the venison itself is really lean, and that pork is going to have some pork fat mixed in with it, so you're probably going to get more of the pork flavor, I would guess. So throw some spices in there that are great with pork. You know, maybe some herbs and stuff. Of course, just keep it simple too. Just use the way the sausage came to you and try it out. You know, make a small batch. See if you think it needs anything. Yeah, that'd be the way I go. You know, make a little small batch. Add stuff to it as you think you need. You may not need anything. But, you know, for pork, man, I like maybe some sage, rosemary, thyme, those kind of things. Yeah, that goes good with pork. Anyway, that's a great question, man. You got my mind turning over here. Let me know how it turns out for you. I'm curious. Appreciate the question. Rob Cappuccio. Sorry I missed your name up there, Rob. Hi, Troy. How do you decide which of your pits you're going to use for particular cooks? For example, I notice you'll do brisket on your Yoder and also on the Weber Smoky Mountain. And I think I even recall you doing one on the Kamado. Yeah, I have. I'm wondering how you choose which you'll be using. It's just luck of the draw. I try to show all my pits some love, you know. And if I've been neglecting one for 4 to 6 months, that I know I need to use it. You know, I've got fans that watch my channel and they watch me for my Weber Smoky Mountain videos. Other ones, they love my Kamado cooks. Others like my Yoder Wichita cooks. So I try to spread the love. I use all of my pits. And if you see me not using one for a while, remind me. Let me know. I need to do a cook on it. But yeah, I try to use them all. I try to do, and that's another thing I try to do, is to do the same cook on the different pits, or the different smokers, so you can see what the difference is. See the different times it takes. See what different temperatures I may cook at. So that's all a part of it too, you know. But great question, man. I just, there's no aforehand thought about it really. I just, you know, the one exception would be if I'm doing a party or cooking for a large family gathering or something like that, and I want to have the absolute best barbecue. I'm going to use my Yoder Wichita. By far, it far exceeds the flavor that I get off of the Weber Smoky Mountain or the Kamado. My own personal opinion. They're all great cookers, and I love having a choice to be able to use. the different cookers. A lot of people don't have that choice, so it's a luxury that I have, and I just try to spread the love. You know, I know each of you have different cookers you have, so I try to spread the love and show you how to do it on each one that you may have in your own backyard. But that's a great question, Rob. Christian, let's see what you got here, Christian. I have one question about cooking brisket. It says, I've gone through your past videos of the briskets you've cooked, and I've noticed that some of the videos you weren't using a water pan until later. So my question is, for your Yoder Wichita, when you cook a brisket, is there a specific spot you place the water pan? Yeah, excuse me. Christian, I didn't use a water pan at first, but after watching like Aaron Franklin, you know, videos of people that are doing it professionally like that, I see that they do use water pans. It depends on the humidity though. I mean, if it's really dry, humid outside when I'm cooking, I'll normally use a water pan. If it's very humid, you know, like 65, 75 or higher humidity, a lot of times I won't use a water pan. Now my placement of the water pan, I always place it over towards the firebox end of my cooking chamber, because you want that water to steam a little bit, and it gets enough heat when it's placed against the firebox. It gets enough heat so that it steams a little bit and adds moisture into the cooking chamber, and that also helps with your bark formation. So give it a shot, man. Alright, Michael Merrick, let's see. Hey Troy, thanks for the vids. You are quite welcome. I appreciate the support. Can you recommend some decent gear for a YouTube beginner? The camera, the sound, the tripod, software, etc. Thanks. When I first started, I just had a little camcorder. Way back before I even had a channel. I used to love Nikon cameras. In fact, I had like a Nikon 8008, and it's a DSLR. Really old, you know, like 25 years ago or so, 30 years ago. But I found that the images came out more of a blue tone. So I started looking at the Canon line of cameras and found that the Canon has, in my opinion, a better picture. It doesn't have that blue tint. It may lean a little more towards the red than I like sometimes, depending on the lighting. But still, you get a nice image that you can work with, and you don't have to do the color balance that much, at least on my equipment. I'm using the Canon G30, but when I first started, I just had a cheap Canon. I forget the model of it, but it was just a little small camcorder, like a, I don't know, R44 or something like that. I really can't remember. But it shot 1080p, which I was wanting, and it would shoot at 60 frames per second, which is what I wanted. Now most YouTubers shoot at 30 frames per second, but I wanted to shoot a little bit higher, not higher quality I guess per se, but a faster frames per second, so that my image would look sharper, if that makes sense. So that's what I went with, and that Canon camcorder was, I think I paid $350 for it or something like that, US. And I loved it. I mean, it had the little flip out side screen. You can flip around and I can see myself. I love that feature of it. And that really helps, especially when you're, you know, doing a one-man show like I do. You can see what your camera's seeing when you're in front of your camera, and that really helps a lot. Now, if you go that route, don't focus on the image displayed on the little side viewfinder. Try not to look at it. Look at the camera you're looking at that's filming you. Look in the lens of it so that you're looking directly at the people, not off to the side where you're seeing yourself while you're talking or whatever you're doing. The audio, you'll find that most cameras don't have good audio. I don't know why they don't make the audio better on cameras, but a lot of them don't have great audio. What I would recommend, if you can, is to get a nice lav mic, and you can find some nice ones on Amazon for like 50 bucks. I mean, they work great. I personally don't like the lav mics, which is why I went with a Rode, R-O-D-E. Got Rode Vid Pro, or Vid Mic Pro, is what they call it. I'll put links down in the description for you. But I've got a shotgun mic from Rode, and I've also got a stereo mic from Rode, and I love the quality of the sound that they both put out, and they're great. Like I mentioned in my last Thursday chat with Troy, you want good audio and you want good lighting. So make sure you've got great lighting as well. If you need to buy some of the little light boxes, and again, I'll put links in the description. You can buy them from Amazon. They're pretty cheap, like $100 for a couple of lights, you know, and the stands for them and everything. Pretty cheap. So that would be the way I would go. If you have bad lighting in your home or outside where you're shooting, you might want to get some backup lights. If you can't afford the lights right now, try to shoot with your blinds open on your windows to let sunlight in, or try to shoot outside. When you go outside, you run the risk of high winds like I'm having right now. I got some strong winds blowing through here, so I've got what they call a dead cat on my mic, and that helps mess up the airflow around the mic so that the mic itself doesn't pick up too much of that wind noise. So a dead cat is really handy. And what else were you asking here? Tripods. I use Manfrotto, I think that's how you say it. Tripods, I love them. Just, you know, the editing software, I started out using Cyberlink Power Director, which I want to say is like $50 a year or something like that. Just do the best that you can, get the best quality equipment and software that you can with which you can afford. You will eventually start getting subscribers. You will eventually start making money on YouTube, and you can invest that money you make from YouTube back into your channel, which is what I've done. So that's the way I would go. Just get the best you can with the money that you can afford to spend on it. A lot of people don't want to spend a whole lot on it because it's just a hobby. It's something you do for fun. But you can, if you really do some great quality videos, you can make a lot of money on YouTube. You know, a lot of the gaming channels, man, they're making tons of money. The cooking channels, not so much, but you know, stuff that people are really interested in, especially the younger generation, like the gaming channels. Those people that do those gaming videos, they make a lot of money, man. Yep, good times. Anyway, I hope that helped. If you have some more questions, feel free to email me or shoot me a direct message on Facebook or something, you know, if you have any questions. All right, where were we? Kenneth Mitchell, any ideas or thoughts about RecTec pellet smokers? Some think they're fantastic, but it's so hard to know about which pellet smoker or grill to purchase. I'm going to have to refer this over to my buddy Larry Wolf. He's got a RecTec. I've never used one. I've never seen one in person. They look like they work very well. They look like they come in different sizes also, which is really good. But I can't really honestly answer on a RecTec. I don't have any experience with it. I will say I've tasted meat off of a Traeger, and it's really, really good. And also Yoder Smokers makes a YS640, I think, is their pellet smoker. And my buddy Joe, Southern Coastal Cooking, he's got the YS640 and he loves it. So pellet smokers are a good thing. If you have electricity where you can plug one in, you're good to go. Just need some pellets to put in it. A lot of people love them. Maybe I'll get one day. I don't know. We'll see. Appreciate the question. Let's see where we're at here. Mike S. Most people hate hearing the voice on camera. Yeah, that's true. How many videos did it take you to get used to hearing your own voice on camera? I'm still not used to it. It doesn't bother me. You know, never really bugged me. But you'll notice on the first 2 or 3 videos that I have on my channel, I didn't show my face. Not that I was scared. I just I didn't want to put my face out there. But I got over that fear, I guess you could say, and just went for it. Started showing my face on camera, and it's something that you will definitely get used to. And you know, you still, there's still times where you're not sure. You know, like me, I try to match a hat with my shirt. You know, I try to look presentable on camera. You know, so I try to do what I can, but I don't go overboard with it. And I really don't have any problem seeing myself or hearing myself now that I've done almost 400 videos, I think. Yeah, those first ones, Yeah, a little touchy. Great question, man. A lot of people have trouble with that, seriously. But just get out there and do it, and you'll get accustomed to it, and you won't have any more problems after a while. It's almost like stage fright, you know? You get over it after you've done it a few times, and you'll be okay. Big Mark 2.0. Any advice on improving the efficiency of a Weber Smoky Mountain on cold days, say under 40 degrees Fahrenheit, for longer cooks like ribs or brisket or pork butt or anything like that, right? Is it even practical, or do I need to mothball the smoker until the next spring? Mark, cook. Use your Weber Smoky Mountain. Doesn't matter how cold it is. What I would do is get some insulation, the type of insulation that comes in a sheet that you would wrap around your hot water heater. You get you some of that from your local hardware store, wrap that around the midsection of your Weber Smoky Mountain, and you should not have any trouble keeping that thing warm. Even on a 40 degree or freezing temperatures, you know, sub-freezing temperatures, it'll stay warm for you. It works great. Go for it. Don't let the cold air stop you. Just bundle up real tight when you're going out to put that meat out there, trying to fire up the Weber Smoky Mountain. Make sure you got plenty of clothes on to stay warm. Good times, man. I love cooking in the cooler weather. But great question, man. Yeah, insulation. That's the way to go. Yogi 85813. Let's see. T-Roy, I have an old country wrangler like Tom from Tom's Test Kitchen, and she's a keeper. Yes, she is. That's some good pits, man. Also, does it upset you when they call you Troy and not T-Roy, like your page says so? Your dogs are too funny, brother. Yeah, I appreciate it. I love my dogs, man. They're a riot. No, it doesn't bother me at all. My real name is Troy. If you want to call me Troy, that's fine. If you want to say, hey, you, that's fine too. It doesn't matter, man. You know, just don't call me any bad names. But I called my channel T-Roy because that's what my dad called me when I was really young. He would say, hey, T-Roy. And it was just something that stuck, you know. But T-Roy's fine, Troy's fine. It doesn't matter. I appreciate the question, man. Clint Bernal, love smoking on my offset. I do too, man. It has the best flavor. Oh, man, I love it. So I was thinking about getting a Weber Smoky Mountain. How much different is the cooking process between the two? Which do you prefer, the offset or the Weber Smoky Mountain? The cooking process is not much different at all. I mean, they're both smokers. You're going to use pretty much the same low and slow temps to cook or to smoke the meat. So the only real difference would be that you're using wood logs in your offset. And those wood logs will give you a much better flavor in your meat. So my preference would be the offset. I love my Yoder Wichita. Like I've mentioned before, if I've got family or friends coming over and I want to really impress them with some nice tasting barbecue, I'm going to use my Yoder Wichita, my offset. Fantastic. And that's not to say the food coming off the Weber Smoky Mountain is bad by any means. It's good also. But you just get a little smoke flavor from the wood chunks you put on the charcoal. So they're kind of sitting on that charcoal smoldering. They're not actually on fire burning like they are, or like the wood is burning in the offsets. So you get a little different flavor. Man, makes me want to fire up my Yoder Wichita right now. Ooh, it's a little chilly out here too. Might have to do that. Guys, I appreciate y'all watching. I think I'm going to hold off right there, answer the rest of these questions next week. Again, hope everyone had a Merry Christmas. Hope y'all have a fantastic New Year's. Be safe. Don't party too hard and get out there and cause any trouble. And man, again, if you have questions, leave them in the comments below. By all means, hope y'all share these videos. Y'all give me a thumbs up. But when you share the videos, I hope you tell all your friends that T-Roy cooks responsibly. We'll see y'all next Thursday, everybody. Cheers.